जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवराधारी जय गिरिवराधारी जय यशोधनंदना जय ब्रजजनरंजना जय यमुनातीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुनातीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय कृष्ण बालराम जय कृष्ण बालराम जय कृष्ण बालराम जय कृष्ण बालराम जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय निताय गो प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दं माधवं चैतन्य जगदीश्वरं। कथाञ्चन स्मृते यस्मिन् दुष्करं सुकरं भवेत् विस्मृते विपरीतं स्यात् श्री चैतन्य नमामि तम्। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to our Saturday Srimad Bhagavatam online study class. So now we are in first canto, 17th chapter entitled Punishment and Reward of Kali. So before that, this month is very, very auspicious, which is called as Shravan month. Shravan month, traditionally, it's very auspicious. Just before this month of Shravan, which is Ashad. Normally, Ashad, after Ashad, during Ashad, there are not much of the major festivities happen. But as soon as Shravan starts, it starts with, so many festivities. Oh, this month is full of festivities, in other words. So, like we have major festivals like Balram Purnima, then we have Janmashtami, then, so many wonderful festivities comes during this month. So recently we concluded Balram Purnima. So Balram, as we all know, is a elder brother of Krishna. And scripturally, if you see, there is no difference between Krishna and Balram. So the Krishna's first expansion is Balaram. So there's no difference between both of them, but there is a difference in terms of color. So Krishna is bluish, and whereas Balaram is, is fair white. And Balaram, though he is elder brother of Krishna, he wants to serve Krishna in all aspects. The scripture says, there are 5 major rasas and 7 secondary rasas, and these 5 major rasas are Shanta. Can anyone tell what are the 5 major rasas? Uday Prabhu, Sushil Prabhu, Rao Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
One is the first is the Shantras, that is neutral.
Yeah.
Second is the Dasyaras, that is servant. So third is the Sankhyaras, that is friendship. Fourth is the Vatsalyaras, that is parenthood. And the fifth is the Madhuryaras, that is love.
Wonderful, Prabhu. So this Balram, he serves Lord in all these 5 rasas. So he is, first in Shanta rasa, how he serves the Lord. Any guess? How Balram serves Krishna in Shanta ras?
No, Prabhu, I think we don't know.
Like we have seen Mahavishnu, he lay down on what?
On the snake.
On Adisheshu.
Yeah. Who is that?
Adisheshu is Balaram only.
Yes. So like that he serves, and also in serves he in Shantaras he serves as the bedding of Lord Krishna, then as a flute, and everything is Balram. In that aspect, he serves Krishna in Shantaras. In Dasyaras, how he serves Krishna?
He came in as Lakshman and served Ram.
Yeah, Jai. Very nice. Even here also, in Krishna Lila also, Rao Prabhu, Sushil Prabhu, Uday Prabhu, and others.
Was it his friend, the shepherd?
No, now we are talking about
He came as brother, as like brother himself for Krishna.
yeah, though his elder brother. So when they go for cow herding, what Yashoda Maya and Rohini, they will not instruct Krishna, right? Instead, they will tell Balram to take care of Krishna. So in that aspect, he serves Krishna in two ways. One, as a parent, means like he's the elder, right? He has to take care of his dependents. So he'll act as a parent, Vatsalya Bhav. And also he is as Subal Prabhu mentioned in Ramalila he came as Lakshman. So what he said, he would go when they went for Vanavas for the 14 years. So that time Lakshman would go in the front. It was a forest. There was no pathway. He would cut all the thorns and all bushes. He will make a nice path for Ram and Sita to walk on. So like that, he will serve Krishna in Sarvaita Dasya Bhav. Then we have covered Shanta, Dasya, and Vatsalya also we covered. Then in Sakya, he's a good friend of Krishna, right? They would always joke each other. They would play together. In that way, he served Krishna. And in Madhurya Ras also, they have some intimacy. They would exchange the conjugal relationship. So it's confidential, though it's Shastras, apparently doesn't mention much about that. But in this way, Balram serves Krishna in all five rasas. So same thing is being exhibited by Nityananda Mahaprabhu also, when Lord Chaitanya came as Krishna, and Balram also came as Nityananda. So all these exchanges we can see in when they ascended as Gaunitai, or Nityananda Mahaprabhu or Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So that's about Balramji. So next week we are having Krishna Janmashtami. So let's meditate, how to welcome Krishna. So now we will start our class today. Now we're in the 17th chapter. So far we have covered up to verse number 30. Can anyone would like to give so far what we have discussed?
So basically, Kali wearing a dress like Raja, he was not behaving nicely with cow and this one. So Parikshit Maharaj came across that one, and he started questioning him, and he was getting ready to punish him as well. So as soon as he was ready to punish him, then Kali surrendered him. He gave the king's dress and surrendered to Parikshit, because Parikshit is being the Kshatriya, and somebody surrendered, so obviously he will forgive. So the dialogue exchange happening between Kali and Parikshit now.
Okay, very nice, bro. Any other points?
Actually, the four legs of the bull were the austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. That is Tap, Shocham, Daya, and Satyam.
Okay.
And presently, all the three Tap, Shocham, and Daya, they were not there because of the effect of the Kali, and only Satya was there, and that was also in a very small quantity.
Hmm.
So that was also told by Prabhu, and on these basis, the principles of ISKCON are also set like that. That is, no gambling, no intoxication, no non-vegetarian, no illicit relations. All these are on the basis of these four pillars of the religion.
Very nice, Sushil Prabhu. Wonderful. Yeah. Some other points? Okay, we have pretty much covered all the points. Like, so we all explained, this chapter begins with Maharaj Parikshit being an ideal king. What he does, he appropriately chastises Kali. Then Parikshit discusses the cause of suffering of cow. So cow it came in the form of earth, and the bull representing dharma. So as now when just we heard, the bull is standing only on 3 legs. So then Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring him. So till last class, what we have discussed is last session we had discussed in the verse number 30th. We saw King Parikshit, being a great hero, compassionate to poor, did not kill Kali. So, but he spoke to him with a smile. Like what happens when Parikshit Maharaj inquired with the bull, who was the perpetrator. Then bull explains, bull didn't explain actually, because that is the beauty of our Sanatan Dharma. We don't pinpoint who is the cause of our suffering. Instead, but Parikshit Maharaj understood the culprit is Kali. Then he about to chastise him. Then that time Kali surrenders to Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit was about to kill the Kali. He takes up his sword, but that time Kali surrenders. And then, once, as per Sanatan Dharma, the one who surrenders to you, you're not supposed to take any, severe action against him. Because once a person surrenders to you, especially the kings, it is the duty of the king to give protection. So as we we have discussed in the first few chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam, the duty of king is not only give protection to only the human beings. His responsibility is to give protection to all the prajas. Prajas means which includes all those who are in his kingdom. It's not only particularly for the human beings. It is all the animals and whoever living in this kingdom. It is a duty of king to give protection. And why there is so many commotions happening in this Kali Yuga, even why the humans are they are so much in distress. The one of the reason is all the animals which we are living with now, they are in anxiety. So they are not they are not free like they as to be in during the reign of Yudhishthir. Like we have seen in the reign of Yudhishthir, all the cows were so happy, and their udders were always filled with milk, and they were producing so much milk. They would milk the whole green pastures with their milk, because they were so happy. But present day cows, they are always in anxiety. They are always thinking when these people will come and take me to the slaughterhouse. So they are always in distress. They are always in anxiety. Because of the animals' anxiety, even human beings also are in anxiety, because there is no there is no cooperation. As such, we can see so much commotion happening in this, especially in this Kali Yuga. So until unless we don't take care of cows, naturally the society will be degraded. So it is very important we should take care of cows. So that we have seen in the previous chapter, and here also especially. Now this Parikshit Maharaj, he was supposed to punish Kali, but Kali, when he surrendered to him, then immediately he didn't had any options other than giving protection to Kali. So we will see from today verse number 31st. Can somebody share, Prabhu? Who will share? Rao Prabhu will share. Yeah. So let's go to verse number 31. Okay. Rajovacha Nate Gudakesh Yeshodaranam Buddhanjalairvai Bhayamasti Kinchit Navartitavyam Bhavata Katanchanam Kshetre Madiyetvam Adharma Bandhuhu. Can somebody read synonyms and translation and also purport? Yeah, we can read directly translation and purport.
Hare Krishna. The king thus said, "We have inherited the fame of Arjuna. Therefore, since you have surrendered yourself with folded hands, you need not fear for your life. But you cannot remain in my kingdom, for you are the friend of irreligion." The personality of the Kali, who is the friend of all kinds of irreligiosities, may be excused if he surrenders. But in all circumstances, he cannot be allowed to live as citizen in any part of the welfare state. The Pandavas were entrusted representatives of the personality of the Godhead, Lord Krishna, who practically brought into being the battle of Kurukshetra, but not for any personal interest. He wanted an ideal king like Maharaj Yudhishthir and his descendants like Maharaj Parikshit to rule the world, and therefore a responsible king like Maharaj Parikshit could not allow the friend of irreligiosity to flourish in his kingdom at the cost of the good fame of the Pandavas. That is the way of wiping out corruption in the state and not otherwise. The friends of irreligiosity should be banished from the state, and that will save the state from corruption. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So here we have seen there's a word used, Gudakesha. So can somebody tell what is this Gudakesha?
Gudakesh is normally used for Arjun.
Yeah. So can you tell me what is the meaning of Gudakesh, Prabhu?
He has controlled his sleep. I think so.
Very nice. Gudakesha. Yeah. He conquered over sleep. And also sleep represents what? Ignorance. Right? Okay,
Yes.
so Gudakesha is another name of Arjuna because he conquered over sleep. So one day during when the Pandavas, they were they were all they were all children, they were all young, so they were all learning archery from Dronacharya, and Dronacharya told his servants not to feed Arjuna in the dark. When the sun sets and when there is no light, don't give him any prasadam. I mean, don't serve him to eat. So, like as we know, like there was no electricity in those days. They would all sit together with lamps and they would honor prasadam. So one day while they were having, the dinner prasadam, so they all of the sudden, there's a heavy wind came in and it blew off all the lights. And but these Pandavas, they were all having prasadam, even so as Arjuna also. Then he was eating the prasadam, he was honoring the prasadam, but even in spite of that darkness, he couldn't see even his own plate. But he would directly put his hand into the plate and he would take the prasadam and he would eat it without any difficulty, right? We also, we are also accustomed, right? Even when there is no light, directly our hand goes to the plate and we honor the prasadam. So as it happened with Arjun also, then Arjun immediately decided, so when I can eat prasadam without the light, then why can't I practice archery in the dark? From that day onwards, he started practicing archery at the night. Just he would hear some sound, then he would start practicing the archery. In that way, he conquered over sleep. That is also the one of the reason why he's called as Gudakesha. And like Pandavas, they have they are all famous. And then when they have a reputation, the Pandavas have a reputation. So whoever surrenders to them, they should be given protection. Here, since Kali has surrendered to Parikshit Maharaj, so he cannot punish him. Instead, he should give protection to the surrendered person. So this also, it has been exhibited in the 9th canto. It comes, there is an episode between Durvasa Muni and Amrish Maharaj. So you all know the pastime. So it was a Ekadashi day, and on Ekadashi day, Amrish Maharaj would do the Nijal fasting, and next day during Dwadashi, he would break his fast. So on the dawn of Dwadashi, Durvasa Muni, along with his so many thousands of disciples, he arrives at Amrish Maharaj. Amrish Maharaj assembly. Then Amrish Maharaj, honors them and they invite them. And the Durvasa Muni says, okay, just I will go to the river and we all have bath and come back. So they goes to the river to take bath. But, the Parana time was exceeding. So when you do the vrat, there is a certain timing. You should break your fasting, which is called as Parana. So it was exceeding. So what Amrish Maharaj did, just he took, one drop of water in the form of Achaman, he took one drop of water so that, he has broke the fast. Means he followed the Parana timing. At the same time, he has not taken any grain. So he has not broke his fast also. So, but when Durvasa Muni came and he realized he broke his fast with water, he becomes very angry. Then he started chastising Amrish Maharaj, and he becomes so angry. So, but Amrish Maharaj was so humble; he did not take offense, and he was trying to, he bowed down his at his feet and he started asking forgiveness. But Durvasa Muni was so angry. But, but the Lord did not, tolerate this attitude of Durvasa Muni. Lord become very angry. So then all of a sudden, the Sudarshan Chakra from his hand, it came out and he started chasing Durvasa Muni. So Durvasa Muni has to run all over the places. He goes to Brahmaloka, Shivaloka. Then even finally he goes to Vaikuntha also. Then there also he says, Lord Vishnu says, I cannot do anything because you have offended my pure devotee. So, if Sudarshan has to come back, you have to go and ask forgiveness from the person who have offended, you have offended. Then finally he come back to Amrish Maharaj. Then he asks for the forgiveness. But of course, Amrish Maharaj has not taken any forgiveness. Hmm? So, there also then they both fall at their feet. Then that's how then Sudarshan Chakra goes back. So this one episode, like whoever is in distress, it's the duty of the king to give protection. So that we comes to know from this verse. And also like Prabhupada here writes, why Krishna has put Yudhishthira Maharaj on the throne, because he wants the responsible king to rule the whole universe. So that's the reason all this Kurukshetra war happened, and Krishna made sure that Yudhishthira Maharaj, he sits on the throne, and the religiosity is installed in the whole universe. That's the purpose of Lord. So, Parikshit Maharaj being the descendant of Pandavas, and especially the Yudhishthira Maharaj, it is his duty to continue the legacy. So now he is, when the Kali is requesting him for the shelter, so he is giving him the shelter. So we will move on to the verse number 32. Tvam vartamanam naradeva deheshvam anupravrittoyam adharma pugaha labho nratam chauryam anaryam ambho jeshta cha maya kalahascha dambaha. Can someone read translation and
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. If the personality of Kali, irreligion, is allowed to act as a man god or an executive head, certainly irreligious principles like greed, falsehood, robbery, incivility, treachery, misfortune, cheating, quarrel, and vanity will abound. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The principle of religion, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, as we have already discussed, may be followed by the followers of any faith. There is no need to turn from Hindu to Mohammedan or to Christian or to some other faith and thus become a renegade and not follow the principles of religion. The Bhagavatam religion urges following the principles of religion. The principles of religion are not the dogmas or regulative principles of a certain faith. Such regulative principles may be different in terms of the time and place concerned. One has to see whether the aim of the religion has been achieved. Sticking to the dogmas and formulas without attaining the real principles is not good. A secular state may be impartial to any particular type of faith, but the state cannot be indifferent to the principles of religion, as above mentioned. But in the age of Kali, the executive heads of state will be indifferent to such religions, principles, and therefore, under their patronage, the opponent of religious principles such as greed, falsehood, cheating, and beliefry will naturally follow. And so there will be no meaning to propaganda crying to stop corruption in the state. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. So here, this verse talks about if the personality of Kali, irreligion, is allowed to act as a man, god, or an executive head, certainly the religious principles like greed, falsehood, robbery, incivility, treachery, misfortune, cheating, quarrel, and vanity will abound, right? So as we say, no, as the saying goes, yatha raja tatha praja. If the head of the society is not good, so all the people will follow him. So whatever the head the he does, the common man will follow. That's the reason in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also came specifically so to set the example. In the third chapter, he says, no, yad yad acharati shrestha tat tat eve taro janaha. Means like our tendency is we always look some great personalities as the models, role models. Unfortunately, in olden days, we used to look the saintly people, the sadhus, as our role models. But currently, what our tendency is, we'll take up to some, film stars, and and we look them as great role models, but factually they are not. So unfortunately, they are not the heroes. They may be the heroes on the screen, but in real life, we all know what they are undergoing and what is their real behavior. So that's the reason Krishna personally came and he set all the examples. So here also, here Parikshit Maharaj wants to give any shelter to this Kali because he is there. Naturally, he is going to influence all his principles of irreligion. So if he is allowed to stay in his kingdom, naturally the principle of irreligiosity spreads. As we have seen, the Dharma stands on 4 pillars: austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. And if these people, irreligious peoples rule, so this will slowly vanish, and the total society becomes, very, very irreligious. So he didn't want to give protection. So then he says, the Parikshit Maharaj doesn't want to Kali to live in his kingdom. So that's what is in this verse. Then we will move to the next verse. Verse number 33. Navartitavyam tadarma bandho dharmena satyena cha varjitavyem brahmavarte yatra yajanti yagnair Yagneshwaram Yagna Vitana Vignaha. Can somebody read translation, please? And purport.
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Translation. Therefore, O friend of religion, you do not deserve to remain in a place where experts perform sacrifices according to truth and religious principles for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. Yagneshwara, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the beneficiary of all kinds of sacrificial ceremonies. Such sacrificial ceremonies are prescribed differently in the scriptures for different ages. In other words, sacrifice means to accept the supremacy of the Lord and thereby perform acts by which the Lord may be satisfied in all respects. The atheists do not believe in the existence of God, and they do not perform any sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord. Any place or country where the supremacy of the Lord is accepted and the sacrifice is performed is called Brahmavarta. There are different countries in different parts of the world, and each and every country may have different types of sacrifice to please the Supreme Lord. But the central point in pleasing him is ascertained in the Bhagavatam, and it is truthfulness. The basic principle of religion is truthfulness, and the ultimate goal of all religions is to satisfy the Lord. In this age of Kali, the greatest common formula of sacrifice is the Sankirtana Yajna. That is the opinion of the experts who know how to propagate the process of Yajna. Lord Chaitanya preached this method of Yajna, and it is understood from this verse that the sacrificial method of Sankirtana Yajna may be performed anywhere and everywhere in order to drive away the personality of Kali and save human society from falling prey to the influence of the age. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhu. So here the Lord is addressed as Yagneshwara. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, in the 5th chapter, Krishna himself clarifies who is the Yagneshwara or who is the enjoyer of the sacrifices. Anybody knows that famous verse, which we call it as peace formula? The 3 things. If we do 3 things, we will all attain the peace. I'll give you a clue. Bhoktaram.
It is that 5.29, right?
Yes,
Bhoktaram
bro.
tapasam
Hmm.
sarvaloka maheshwaram suradam
Yeah.
sarvabhutanam nyatva mam shanti mrukshati.
Very nice, bro. Can others give the meaning of this verse which Prabhu mentioned now? Very simple. Bhoktaram yagna tapasam means Bhoktaram means what? Enjoyer, right?
Enjoyer.
Yes, Rao Prabhu. Go ahead.
Whatever the sacrifice or yajna we do, the result will be enjoyed by the Lord Krishna.
Okay. So Bhoktaram yagna tapasam. He is the enjoyer. He is the beneficiary of all the sacrifices we do. Then next line, what he says? Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. What does it mean? He is a Maheshwara.
Yeah.
Means he is the proprietor of all lokas.
The universe.
Sarvaloka
Yes.
Maheshwara.
Yeah. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Suhrudam Sarvabhutanam. He is the friend of all living entities. He doesn't differentiate. He is my devotee. He is not my devotee. He doesn't do all those things. He is the best friend of all living entities. Suhrudam Sarvabhutanam Gnatva Mam Shanti Mruchati. The person knows these 3 things, which is what? Bhoktaram. Krishna is the benefactor of all the sacrifices we perform, and he is the proprietor of all the worlds, and he is the best friend of all living entities. If we know these 3 things, we will attain peaceful. So here also the purport, it talks about whatever basically the religious principles are made to satisfy the Lord. We are all familiar with the first, in the 2nd chapter itself, we understood what is the importance of following religious principle. If we all want to become happy, so what we have to do? The famous verse is Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Eto Bhaktir Adokshaje Ahaituki Apratihata Yayatma Suprasidati. How can all we become happy? We can become happy by only rendering devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Adokshaja. So otherwise, whatever we do, we cannot be happy. Maybe we may possess a lot of wealth, we possess, a lot of beauty, and we may have, great strength. None of these things will make us happy. So if you really need the peaceful, and we have to be, be happy in this life, the best thing is just, render devotional service unto the Krishna. So here also same thing mentioned. Krishna is the Yagneshwara. He is the beneficiary of all kinds of sacrifices. So like we know, like we are all from, Indian background with, we are all born and brought up with so many in our homes, they are performing various types of pujas and fire sacrifices. Okay, sometimes, like we do about demigod worship also, but there's nothing wrong, So, but at the end of, whatever the things we do, finally it reaches Krishna only. So in Rigveda explains, there's a one verse which says, Akashat patitantoyam yata gacchati sagaraha sarvadeva namaskaraha Shri Keshavam pratigacchati. So Akashat patitantoyam. When the water falls from the sky in the form of rainwater, what happens? It will form a small canal then it will become little big, small river. Then finally it joins with a big river, and finally it reaches Sagara, means ocean. Right. Similarly, whoever we offer obeisances, so finally it goes to the Krishna. Yatha gacchati sarvadeva namaskaraha Sri Keshavam pratigacchati. So, with this we'll come to know this is the what is the effect of doing namaskar. So that is explained. And also the yajna, whatever we perform, we do it for the uh, for the uh, for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. So the place where the performances of sacrifices are done for the pleasure of Krishna, that place is called as Brahmavarta. And so in Kali Yuga, what is the best way to perform any yajna is Sankirtan yajna. So other yajnas, it is difficult to perform because we don't have qualified Brahmanas to perform. So we do not have, the pure ingredients. And, we don't have pure mentality also to perform, these nice sacrifices. But by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has inaugurated this Sankirtana Yajna. So we will get the same result by just chanting the holy name of the Lord. This Sankirtana Yajna can be done in two ways. We can do japa, by taking our bead, and we can sit alone and we can do. And other way, the effective method is just go on Nagar Sankirtan or call devotees and chant together, which is called as congregational chanting. This is the same, we get the same result as, it is not less than performing any big sacrifices such as Ashwamedha Yajna or so many other big sacrifices mentioned in the Shastras. So that is because of the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we will be able to do this Kirtan Yajna. And by doing that, we can please Yagneshwara, that Krishna, so he will become pleased. So we are moving to the verse number 34. Yes, Prabhu, can you take a little up? Yeah. Yasmin Harir Bhagavan Ijyamanam Ijyatma Murtir Yajatam Shamtanoti Kamam Amogham Stira Jangamanam Antar Bahir Vayur Ivaisya Atma. Yeah, the translation.
Hare Krishna. Translation.
Yes.
In all sacrificial ceremonies, although sometimes a demigod is worshipped, the Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead is worshipped because he is super soul of everyone and exists both inside and outside like the air. Thus, it is he only who awards all welfare to the worshipper. Purport. It is even sometimes seen that demigods like Indra and Chandra are worshipped and offered sacrificial awards. Yet the rewards of all such sacrifices are awarded to the worshipper by the Supreme Lord. And it is the Lord only who can offer all welfare to the worshipper. The demigods, although worshipped, cannot do anything without the sanction of the Lord, because the Lord is the super soul of everyone, both moving and non-moving. In Bhagavad Gita 9.23, the Lord himself confirms in the following sloka. Epianya devata bhakta ejante sriddhayanvita tepimam eva kaunteya kaunteya ejanti avidhi purvakam. Whatever a man say, sacrifice or other gods, O son of Kunti, is really meant for me alone, but it is offered without true understanding. The fact is that the Supreme Lord is one without a second. There is no God other than the Lord himself. Thus, the Supreme Lord is eternally transcendental to the material creation. But there are many who worship the demigods like the sun, moon, Indra, who are only material representatives of the Supreme Lord. These demigods are indirect qualitative representations of the Supreme Lord. A learned scholar or devotee, however, knows who is who. Therefore, he directly worships the Supreme Lord and is not diverted by the material qualitative representations. Those who are not so learned worship such qualitative material representations, but their worship is unceremonious because it is irregular. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. So here is saying, we do sometimes demigod worships, but all the result will go to Krishna only. So this is very much confirmed in 9th chapter Bhagavad Gita with this verse, Epi Anya Devata Bhakta. So, whatever we do, finally it goes to Krishna. So, but Krishna, he is here using one word, Yajanti Avidhi Purvakam. So, we are doing Avidhi Purvakam. Vidhi Purvakam means we are doing in a regulated way. Avidhi Purvakam means we are doing not in a right way. Because, just to honor the prasadam, best way is, to eat like this. But we can also eat like this, right? So, but that is called as Avidhi Purvakam. It's not a right way. So that's what Krishna is telling. But it's okay. Nonetheless, if somebody is having faith in some demigods, Krishna, he is not discouraging them. In 7th chapter, from verse number 20 onwards till the end of the chapter, he talks about this thing only. He talks about kamaistai hrutagnanaha prapadyante anya devata. Some people, because of the desires, they got attracted to various demigods. Then they started rendering devotional service to them. And they does it with the complete shraddha. Then what Krishna says, Sataya Shraddhaya Yuktaha Tasyaradhanamihate Labate cha tata kaman mayeva vihitan hitan. So, and before that, what Krishna does, if somebody is worshipping some demigods, he will make their faith very strong with that particular demigod. And so whatever they desire, Krishna grants. Krishna mostly granting all the desires, but through that particular demigod, so that they will get a faith on that particular demigod. So, so finally it's all done by Krishna only. Sataya Shraddha Yuktaha Tasyaradhana Mihate Yajante Ta Kaman Mayeva Vihitan Hitan. He says, I only grant all those benedictions. So it's okay, but once they have done with all this karma, then they will understand Vasudeva Sarvamiti. So then they will follow Krishna. So, like in Vedic culture, it's allowed, but it takes little longer way, as Krishna is telling here. We are doing Avidhi Purvakam. Instead, Vidhi Purvakam is what? Just directly render service to Krishna. But of course, without, harming any demigods, without offending any demigod. Forget about offending demigods, like the Vaishnavas are those people who doesn't offend even other living entity. So such is the greatness of Vaishnava. Then what to speak of these great personalities like Devatas? They are very dear to Krishna. So the Krishna is always there to give protection. So in also, like, in Rigveda, there is a mantra which says, Tad Vishno Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surayaha Divi Vachakshuratatam Tad Viprasho Vipanyavo Jagravam Sasamindate. So we chant this mantra, when we do the Achaman. So Tad Vishno Paramam Padam. So the demigods, Tad Vishno Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surayaha. Sada Pashyanti means always they see who? The demigods whom they are saving. Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. They are seeing the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, their paths are always illuminated. There is no darkness in their life. So that they are great, companions of Lord, and Lord have always protect them personally. So there's nothing harm in doing them. But we are doing, if we are worshipping some demigods, then we are doing that avidhi purvakam. But instead we take to the process of chanting the holy name and worshipping Krishna. And not only Krishna will be pleased, even the demigods also will be pleased, and they will also support in our endeavors to achieve Krishna. So this is what it's talked about in this verse. Then we will move to the verse number 35. Sutta vacha parikshitaivam adhishta sakalir vepatuhu tam udyatasim ahedam dandapanim ivodyatam. Yeah.
Sri Sut Goswami said, the personality of the Kali, thus being ordered by Maharaj Parikshit, began to tremble in fear. Seeing the king before him like Yamraj, ready to kill him, Kali spoke to the king as follows. The king was ready to kill the personality of the Kali at once, as soon as he disobeyed his order. Otherwise, the king had no objection to allowing him to prolong his life. The personality of Kali also, after attempting to get rid of the punishment in various ways, decided that he must surrender unto him, and thus he began to tremble in fear of his life. The king or the executive head may be so strong as to stand before the personality of Kali like the personality of death, Yamaraj. The king's order must be obeyed, otherwise the culprit's life is in risk. That is the way to rule the personalities of Kali who create disturbance in the normal life of the state citizens. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Now Sutta Goswami is explaining what Kali has done. So he surrendered, he began to tremble in fear. Kali saw Parikshit Maharaj as Yamaraj standing in front of him, ready to kill him, and immediately he surrendered to him. So as we discussed in the previous verse, if a person surrendered to a king, it's the duty of king to give protection. So now we will see in the 36th verse what Kali is going to speak. So Kalirvacha yatra kvavata vatsyami sarvabhauma tavagnaya lakshaye tatra tatrapi tvamatteshu sharasanam.
O your majesty, though I may live anywhere and everywhere under your order, I shall but see you with bow and arrows wherever I look. The personality of the Kali could see that Maharaj Parikshit was the emperor of all lands all over the world, and thus anywhere he might live, he would have to meet with the same mood of the king. The personality of the Kali was meant for mischief, and Maharaj Parikshit was meant for subduing all kinds of mischief mongers, especially the personality of the Kali. It was better, therefore, for the personality of the Kali to have been killed by the king then and there instead of being killed elsewhere. He was, after all, a surrendered soul before the king, and it was for the king to do what was required.
So this Kali has become, conscious of Parikshit Maharaj. So he is seeing Parikshit Maharaj everywhere. He is such a powerful king. Kali understood, he cannot survive in his kingdom. So because he could see the presence of king everywhere. So he was such a powerful king. So he doesn't have any other option other than surrendering to him. And the king duty is also to give protection to him. So that's what being discussed, said here. Then we will move to the last verse for the day. Tanme dharma brashtam shreshtam sthanam nirdeshtam arhasi yatraiva niyato vatsyam atistam ste anushasanam.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, O chief amongst the protectors of religion, please fix some place for me where I can live permanently under the protection of your government. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The personality of Kali addressed Maharaja Parikshit as the chief amongst the protectors of religiosity, because the king refrained from killing a person who surrendered unto him. A surrendered soul should be given all protection, even though he may be an enemy. This is the principle of religion, and we can just imagine what sort of protection is given by the personality of Godhead to the person who surrenders unto himself, not as an enemy, but as a devoted servitor. The Lord protects the surrendered soul from all sins and all resultant reactions of sinful acts. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. What's that 1866 today, Prabhu?
I'll just read that.
No. So you know this verse. Sarvadharman.
That is the most famous verse.
Yeah.
Sarvadharman
Conclusion of the Gita.
Paritrayanam.
Okay. So in this verse, he is okay. Now he without the king's sanction, the Kali cannot live in the kingdom of Parikshit, because he is such a powerful king, and he cannot do his atrocities because he will be punished by king anytime or anywhere, anytime he will be punished. So what Kali is asking now, he is telling, please, O chief amongst the protector of religion, please give me some place so I can live comfortably in your kingdom. So he is asking for this benediction from King Parikshit, and that we will be seeing in the next class. So there's a beautiful verse. The verse number 38 is a very beautiful verse. So today we covered from verse number 31 to 37. So from 31 to 34, Parikshit Maharaj asked Kali to leave his kingdom because he don't want this kind of irreligious people to live in his kingdom, because as we know, like one bad fruit can spoil the whole basket of fruits, right? So he tells, leave my kingdom. So, but then finally the Kali surrenders to Parikshit Maharaj, and he asked his permission to live in his kingdom, so that he need not to leave his kingdom, because of course this whole world is ruled by Parikshit Maharaj. There is no other place he can go and stay. So now we have an option. Suppose if this place deport us, we can go back to some other country and stay. But during Parikshit Maharaj's reign, it was not like that. The entire world was ruled by Parikshit Maharaj. So in that way, he's asking for the benediction. So we will see in the next session, where he gets 4 more places, 4 places plus another 2 places he'll get to stay. So there starts the irreligiosity. So with that we conclude here. So Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Go Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Any questions or any comments?
Thank you so much, Prabhu. A wonderful class. Very nice. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Any
Thank you, Prabhu.
questions? Anybody?
No question. No.
So please meditate on Krishna Janmashtami, which is on 7th. So please visit wherever you are. Go to the nearest center and take some part. Take up some service. Go and do some service on that auspicious day. And those who are here in Dubai, please come. We have a program in Regent International School. On 7th, it's in Sindhi Ceremonial Hall, Dubai. So the program starts at 7 o'clock and it goes up to 11 o'clock. So the next day, which is 8th September, is Prabhupada Appearance Day and also Nandotsav. Again, that program also will happen in Sindhi Hall between 8 to 10 on 8th of September. Then 9th, again, we have cultural program in Regent International School. 9th is next Saturday. So from 4 p.m., we have program till 10 p.m. with a lot of cultural programs and also Maha Abhishek. And next Sunday is the final conclusion program for Janmashtami, which we do with Purusha Sukta, Shri Sukta, and Vishnu Sahasranamam. So that will be concluding. And next Sunday is also happens to be Ekadashi. So there is a broad schedule for this Janmashtami 2023. So please, you also get connected to your centers, your nearest centers, and go there and serve the Lord and get His mercy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
I would. Ithai go Premanande Hari Hari Bol.